Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's educational webinar hosted by International Trade Council. My name is Ron Olasco, and I'm delighted to be your moderator for today's session. Before we start our discussion, let's take care of some quick housekeeping matters. Everyone can please type in yes if you can hear me clearly. You can type in yes in the chat box. Just want to make sure that the audio is clear. All right, thank you, Ano. I assume that everyone. Okay, thank you, Kenneth. Now let's ensure that everyone can see the presentation slides. If you are experiencing issues with the audio or visual, please let us know in the chat box and I will assist you promptly. So it seems like everything's run smoothly. Just a quick reminder for to our attendees, if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type them in the Q&A box located in your webinar interface. We'll address as many questions as possible during the Q&A session following the presentation. So let's get started with today's educational session. Our topic is Understanding Compliance Competence in International Trade, Enabler for Growth. Today's webinar focuses on enhancing awareness and knowledge of efforts to ease trading across borders. We'll explore the key agencies involved in creating trade enablers, discuss how to develop effective systems within the organization to manage trade and build the confidence needed to lead by your business in the future. This session is designed to equip you with the insights and tools necessary to navigate and succeed in the ever-evolving world of international trade. Please join me in welcoming our speaker, Jivan Rao Shahib, Director of Indeloc Service Private Limited. Go ahead, Jivan, you can start the presentation.
Thank you, Ron. And good morning, good evening, good afternoon to people across who have joined the webinar. And today we are going to discuss and try to understand how to grow the business in international trade and what are those things which has evolved over the years and enabling the operation or the conduct of international trade in a much more processed and much more focused way with clarity for enabling growth in every way that is possible. And I am going to talk on two levels. The part one, which we are going to hear, will be on the current state of the international trade, what is international trade, and how the WTO is pushing across the trade to grow, the consequence of 9/11 and the security threat on the trade, and how it has impacted the other areas of business, and how it has made compliance different, and the trade facilitation focus from the WTO. Added to that, the WCO focus on safe framework of standards, which evolved after the 9/11, and how all this is making the business to conduct itself in a much more organized manner, and also how it is facilitating the trade to operate in a much more informed way, and also to make the trade work with ease of doing the business. And the second part of it will be focusing mainly on the AUO program of the WCO, which is going on worldwide, and how the small businesses can leverage this program to conduct the business of international trade, and what are the way they have to prepare, and what it means to them, and some of the global organizations, including the International Trade Council, how the effort is being made in this direction. International trade enables movement of goods and services from place of production to consumption, crossing the border of the country. But while doing this, we also have to look at how each country is imposing certain rules, regulations, and procedures to be followed for the goods to either get in or get out of the country. So that is where the today's international trade is facing new challenges, and the competence required to handle this also requires a different kind of education, information, knowledge, and effort. The trade also makes the economies of the receiving country and the exporting country grow in a different level, and it also makes this growth possible due to the economical production of such goods or utilization of certain resources available at that place, and make it sure that it reaches the larger uh, global geography where the consumption of the goods is happening. And while doing all this business, it has also made people grow themselves in terms of their affordability, in terms of their expectations of products available at their door or in their place. And by earning more than what they can or what they have been doing because of the growth in their trade and the market expansion, the aspirations of the local people or the domestic people also have grown and made them look at things in a different way, and also aspire for new things. This whole international trade is being driven by the WTO, which was earlier the General Agreement on Tariffs and Trade. And since 1995, this has become now the World Trade Organization, where the nations come across and have decided what has to be done and how the trade has to conduct itself, what are the general rules and regulations and procedural aspects which they all have to abide by uniformly. And while doing this, there is no trade barriers today in most of the places, but still there are some kind of barriers being built because of certain other than tariff measures. But basically, the trade barriers has been broken down. Goods can move freely from everywhere to everywhere unless there is some national concern or it is of some national importance. And every country which is now trading or involved in the international trade are required to abide by the WTO guidelines of the regulations, and they have to remain compliant. And there are occasions where some of the regulations contravene the rules, and people have gone to the dispute resolution to address it and get those resolution done. And we have seen in the recent past there are few uh, trade barriers being built with the imposition of high rate of duties, which is again being disputed by some people, and hopefully resolutions will be there. WTO today is the body at the pinnacle which oversees the way trade takes place. It also makes efforts to address ways and methods to improve upon opportunity for economy. It also undertakes various studies to understand areas to upgrade and assist in integrating into the global economy. And WTO is now directing the whole world as to how the trade has to be done. And they also have internal assessments of what is happening in each place, and they intervene in places where, such as the less developed countries or countries with no infrastructure, they intervene there and they provide what has to be done or what is the way to look at how to grow, and look at from the resources available and how to make it profitable for the economy to grow and profitable for the people to trade with. While these all developments were happening, the 9/11 incident in 2001 made a big difference, where the underlying information which the security agents got was that trade could be a easy way of bringing in certain contraband goods or certain goods of destruction, which can impact and make the economy go bad. And we have seen how this whole scenario changed the way the security is looked upon at various places, and including airports and seaports, and including the domestic surveillance systems. And this incident made the US government and the US customs to look at from how to secure their economy from bringing or from landing of goods which can affect the economy and pose a threat to their internal economical activities. And this, they called it as the Customs Trade Partnership Against Terrorism. And today it has grown to a large number from 10 initial people who were involved. It is now more than 10,000 members across US, Canada, and Mexico. And this triggered a very serious kind of a thought process in the economies across the world to look at from how security can be hampered through various other means, which need not be ending in a war with military interventions, but without that, how trade can be used to fight a nation. And these developments made a lot of things to change in various areas. And the CBP worked with the trade community to make these things different for the domestic market to conduct itself, and also to protect their own homeland against various threats that they assessed could be possible modes of making material come inside the country and used against the interest of the country or the security of the country. And this program was a voluntary program, and this was also made as a sort of involvement of people across the nation, even though they were not in US. Those people who were trading to US had to sign off certain documents agreeing for certain ways of behavior and conduct, and also to protect the security, and agreed that they will also abide by and make sure the security is safeguarded from wherever they are when it is moving into the US boundaries. And in 2006, it became a formal law where the program became a legal system for their internal protection. Similarly, the other countries who were there trading internationally also had a concern, and it also made them think of why only US should bring this or make this mandatory for everyone. Why not bring it as a global effort? And the World Customs Organization in 2005 adopted the same safe framework of standards to make sure that it also is similar to the security protection which US had planned, but also they made a little bit of difference in the program, by which they also said the one who is trading should also comply with the regulations which are required for trading, so that it not only looks at protecting the security supply in the supply chain, but also looking at from the compliance of the supply cross-border movement of the goods. This was a unique attempt from everyone to make sure that it is complied with and it is abided by every customs organizations who are forming part of the member in WCO. And this became a very big movement. Once it started spreading after 2005, every other nation, every other customs organization started taking this program and bringing this program internally to make sure that internally they also comply with the same rules and regulations. And also there's no difference between what somebody else is doing elsewhere to what is happening in that particular country. So the framework is uniform. The framework is also giving a broad guideline and a framework of what one has to do, irrespective of the nation. But some places they made a little bit of changes to suit their own particular local conditions. And this program has been continuously upgraded, continuously been improved upon. And the last revision was done in 2021, and now it is due for renewal in 24. And this program was called the Authorized Economic Operators Program, which came within the same framework of standards. And this program is a coordinated, again, a voluntary program, but coordinated by the customs, but involves all agencies who manage the border or who manage the regulations of the trade at the border. And the notable things in this program are 3 pillars, as what it is called, which is forming part of the standards. The pillar 1 is the customs to customs cooperation. That is a country A to country B, how the customs between A and B has to coordinate, has to cooperate, has to collaborate, and also share information of mutual interest, not only in security, but also in terms of what is happening between the importers and the exporters, and to also sound or to alert if there are any kind of issues in the trading area. And this also has made it mandatory for the cargo information to move in advance. That is, if it is moving by the sea mode, it goes well in advance. At least it is reaching there 15 days to 30 days in advance as the cargo is picked up for movement by vessel. In case of air, the cargo information goes as the aircraft lifts up, the information is transferred to the other country. So today, the information between the A to B customs organizations are moving in and very fast, and they all have uniform information of what is happening. And many of these things also get processed while it is in transit. And the pillar 2 is customs to business, which means how the customs and the trade has to cooperate to make the security and the compliance stronger. And to make this happen, under this pillar, the Authorized Economic Operator Program is operating today, and the trading partners, as it is called, who can be importers, who can be exporters, the freight forwarders, the port operators, the warehouse operators, the airline operators, everyone, custodians, the CFS, and various transporters involved in the trade who move the goods, all are involved in this, and they are all entitled to be called as authorized economic operators, duly certified and duly recognized by the customs in the place where they are operating. Pillar 3 is customs to other government and intergovernment agencies, which looks at, suppose in a country where the cargo which is coming in is supposed to be authorized or supposed to be licensed by somebody in the other ministry other than the customs department. They are also involved today in the movement of these goods, and they make these clearances happen at the border itself. So there are nearly 30 plus, and in some cases there are 40 agencies who are working along with customs to make sure this program is operating. And to do this, there is a lot of technology being deployed. There are a lot of coordination of various departments and various agencies to make sure the facilitation or the movement of cargo doesn't get hampered. And various places we are witnessing today how things have changed over the last few years. The forces of globalization, innovation, and technology changes continues and will be still enabling these kind of new developments to take place and new initiatives to make the ease of doing business much more easy. While this, on the one part of security and compliance was taking place, WTO was continuously in the background working on various other areas of what it called the trade facilitation agreement, and it made all the members, 180 members in the WTO, agree to what they called as ease of doing business through TFA. And the TFA had several conditions and several recommendations, and also several other points, which was all directed towards making the trade between countries happen without much of an issue. And also it mandated the governments to facilitate trade so that the economy improves. And because of that, there are many things which has now changed over a period of time. And we are also witnessing that the facilitation means it is not just trying to allow the goods to move in, but how easily the information can be captured, how the person who is moving can be called as a trusted partner, and how the departments which are involved can bring down the documentation, the regulation, the procedural aspects much more simpler for everyone to operate without much of a difficulty or without any seeking any further kind of help or assistance from anybody. At the same time, they also try to see that all this information is transparently made available to anyone who wants to look at information to engage or who is engaged in a trade to operate. Which means if somebody has to understand what is that I have to do in a particular situation when he is trading, these informations are made available in the respective government's portal of the respective government's departments websites. So this transparency in information, regulations, simplifications of the regulations, and the procedural aspects of the regulation, and bringing down the number of documents, the number of information fields in the document is all part of the trade facilitation, which came into force in 2017 once the major number of people who had agreed to had in the respective governments, that is national governments, ratified it. It became a rule across, and since 2017 there is a lot of things which is changing rapidly across the world. But there are still areas where, because of the vast number of people involved and the size of the people involved, there are still information which has to be made or brought into awareness and knowledge level. And one of the point which the WTO is looking at, how to reduce the cost of trading or cost of operations of the people who and the business who are trading from X to minus X. And they are trying to collect information, and they are also collecting a lot of data across from various places as to how the regulations have been changed, who has done what, and how uh, the cost of operations are coming down. And one of the thing is they are also looking at the uh, not just the cost of operation, but also the time taken in movement of goods, and the time taken to release the goods from customs custody at the trade borders, which is called the time release study, which is being done and which is being studied. And probably uh, uh, various places they are announcing what they have done and how they are doing it, and it is being made available in websites of the respective departments also. And when we look at the definition of what is trade facilitation, various organizations again have brought their own version or definition of what they would like to do and what they are going to do. WTO says the simplification and harmonization of international trade procedures, where trade procedures are the activities, practices, and formalities involved in collecting, presenting, communicating, and processing data and other information required for the movement of goods in international trade, which is such an elaborate thing, and it is difficult for somebody to immediately comprehend what exactly they are trying to do. And in terms of WCO, it says the avoidance of unnecessary trade restrictiveness. This can be achieved by applying modern techniques and technologies while improving the quality of controls in an internationally harmonized manner. And International Chamber of Commerce says improve the efficiency of the process associated with trading in goods across national borders. And in the Asia Pac Economic Cooperation, they have defined it as the simplification and rationalization of customs and other administrative procedures that delay or increase the cost of moving goods across international borders. So when you look at all these different definitions, although it is different in text, the objective is all very similar. And what it means is bring it down in a simplified manner, whatever we have to do, convey it in very easy way to follow and adopt, and harmonize. What one country is prescribing, the other country is also prescribing the same or similar one, but there may be number of uh, differences in the text or the fields, but otherwise it's all same. Standardization of the procedures, it is common, and it is becoming common every other place. And process with associated information also is very similar in every other place. Tools and technology to make this happen is also being prescribed, and it is all similar again, but adopted and conditioned to the local requirements. Sorry. So, to derive the benefit of trade facilitation and to join hands with customs to secure trade across the world in a uniform manner is what, end of the day, it means for the simplification to be seen or observed at the ground level. It is imperative for trading community, be it manufacturers, traders, large, small, to explore and exploit the means to be a trusted partner and become an AO. So, end of the day, what we look at, or what we are wanting to do as people in the business and trading across the borders or across different geographies, we want it to be as easy to do, as much as less to do, but at the same time comply with whatever basic and fundamental information is required, and also adhere to all the prescribed conditions to make sure that we are following every regulation, every rule, and giving that comfort to the government agencies who are monitoring at the at the borders, and who are looking at getting the confidence that things are being done in a very normal and in a very compliant way. So what it led with the WTO bringing in the trade facilitation, and the WCO adopting the safe framework of standards and prescribing the AUO program under the WCO, it has made a large difference at the facilitation level for the trading community, and also for government to identify who are to be trusted and how they are to be trusted and what they have to do or conduct themselves to be trusted. So this is a program which is the basis of how the trade can be not only just followed or not only just adhered to, but also to see how this program can be used to make my uh, speed of doing business easily. And also with this speed, will I be able to reach um, a larger geography, and will I be able to look at growing my own business? And this is something which we are going now to look at in this part, and see how the AUO program is creating a difference for every one of us. AUO prescribes the process and standards for safety, security, and compliance of the trade laws that govern the respective nations. WCO is continuously giving guidance and also making the capacity building effort parallelly grow and help those countries or those customs which are not equipped to also adopt these programs, implement these programs, and help the trade in that particular country reach to the outer world in an easy manner. And in the WCO also, this is the safe working group, as they call it, is one of the group where members from the private sector who are represented from various business, various associations, are also made form to address and also be part of the group which discusses this. And I am also one of the member who is in this group called as the private sector consultative group within the WCO at the safe working group, which deliberates what is happening, which brings the private sector viewpoints into the deliberations, discussions, and evaluates certain other things which the customs or the other agencies put forth to make sure that it, end of the day, makes both the customs and the trader work without much of a difficulty, and it, end of the day, again makes a difference in the way they are conducting their business, and it enables them to do their business easily. So through this AO now, we are now going to examine how this can become an enabler for growth, and to adopt this as an enabler, what is that we are to do as a MSME to increase and to improve upon the conduct of the business which we are doing. Normally, when they say MSME, these the words they use is the lack of relevant skills, lack of knowledge about international markets, how to face the non-tariff barriers, too many regulations and border procedures and papers and documents to be presented, and which this this small business is not aware of. And the next one is limited access to finance, in particular trade finance. The smaller the company, the greater the challenges they face to raise the finance to do production or to do the trading if they are not manufacturing. WTO has launched a number of initiatives to make this effort bring in results, and also to make MSMEs come into the forefront of international trade and also play a more active role in growing the international trade. It is said that more than 50% of the world's trade today is being done by small and the medium businesses. And the micro business is also now growing in their size because of the penetration of the e-commerce market. And there are many small businesses who are doing business internationally, and the numbers are encouraging, and some of the places it is mind-boggling. And the World Trade Organization also believes that if there is a small difference of growth, there is a 1% or a 1.5% growth of trade through MSME, it can make trillion difference to the world economy. So they are seriously attempting and also making effort to make sure that they make it available and make sure it is available to all the MSME international trading community, and also to get back from them and hear from them what is happening and how, or how much more or how differently they can create a difference for the people. So we will go now a little more in depth into understanding what is AEO, which is a voluntary program to apply for. Nobody is mandating it. Every customs across the world says if you wish to be or wish to get certified as an AEO, you make an application, we will process it, and we will examine whether you are to be certified or not. It is open for everyone who is directly doing the international business. That means you are an exporter or an importer in the first place. And all those people who are in the trading community of doing this importing or exporting are all eligible to become or certified as the trading partners under AEO program. And everyone in the international supply chain is eligible to apply for. And it prescribes a minimum amount of security and compliance level within the business which you should have. And that is what, when you apply for, you will look at what is your current security of various aspects in your business which you are looking at, and also how efficiently you are able to do the activity of importing or exporting on your own. And this certification makes less intervention of customs at the border. And most of the AEO program have 3 level of graded certification, which is called as one at the security. You can become a AEO as only certified under security. You can become a AEO certified only under a compliance. Or if there are large companies, they also go for both security and compliance. And also on the 3rd level, they also make sure that all the trading partners in their community or in their business is forming part as a group, and they get the certification as a much more higher AEO operator. There are 13 criteria which is prescribed under AEO, and it examines under the following: compliance under customs requirement, that is how much you know about the customs regulation, how much you know about the import regulation, how you are compiling your application for license, or how you have compiled your information for uh, uh, drug license or for phytosanitary and things like this, and makes sure that you are complying with all that, whether you do it directly or through assistance, but you are aware of it and you are following it and adhering it. Your record maintenance in your own premise, how are you doing it? What are the way you are safeguarding the information, safeguarding the records, safeguarding the documents, safeguarding the critical information of the business, what you are in, and how you are storing it, who is able to access it, when do they access it, how you are maintaining records of that accessing. These are all things which you have to look at from your commercial records, and look at from the sensitivity of the information, and also sensitivity of the same in the supply chain sector, or in the supply chain area which you are involved with. It also looks at the financial viability, how strong you are, and how you are managing your finance, how you are paying your taxes, and how much, how many times you could not pay it for various reasons, and whether it was genuine. All this gets examined under the financial viability. But they are not looking at your profitability or your margins. They are only looking at from whether you are able to pay the taxes which are due, duties which are due as and when it is demanded, or as and when you are required to pay it at the time when it has to be paid. How you are seeking consultation, how you are operating with other people, how you are communicating internally with your own staff, with your own partners, with your own businesses, and what is the method of communication, and how you are communicating to your own people, how you are educating your people in various aspects of the business, what you are doing, and how you are training them in areas where they have to be comfortable, even if there is one man or a two man sort of a administration which is handling the business. If they are informed, if they are aware, and if they can uh, maintain what has to be done under the certification, that is enough. It doesn't say that you should have a large organization, which is most of the time a challenge for MSME, that there should be a large admin staff who should do it. But these are all simple things depending on the size of your business, which one can manage. It's not that it has to be uh, done or possible to be done only when you deploy a lot of people. There are simple things which one can do with small size of the business also. And today's business, you look at from the technology use of your information, email, browsing, your own systems, laptops or PCs, servers, how that is being maintained, how that is being secured, who is accessing, how they are accessing. Even a simple password lock of the documents, or the screen lock for the operator, is just enough to comply with the security information, so that you can track, or when there is an audit, you can run through the trial, audit trial of what happened, when, and who does it, or who did what. So this is where the major compliance and security is looked at in a very simplistic way. And at the same time, how your cargo is moved, who is moving it, whether they are putting a security lock on the vehicle when they are moving, whether there is a GPS tracking which is possible. So the various aspects of your own business, and how you yourself assess various security threats in each of these areas, is where it makes a difference. And there is nothing required more than you. There is nobody else who can be the best judge for looking at from those angles. And anybody today is looking at from the business continuity angle and also the crisis management. So this is something which you have to inform or document as to how you will manage certain things and how you are able to keep the business continued even when there is an incident which stops that particular area or that particular moment happening from that particular premise. So this also calls for looking at from all these angles when you have documented it, how you are managing this, how you can improve this. And this is what you measure, this is what you analyze, and this is what you improve upon yourself when you expand your business or when you are growing your business. These areas also has to keep continuously attended to and improved upon. So when we say how you have to manage this, it is only through a simplistic way of documenting what you are doing, verify your premises, verify various aspects of what is happening in your premises, how the material is moving, where the material is moving, who is moving the material, and who is accessing information, how they are accessing information. Will that pose a threat, or is there any security threat in that area? You can do it yourself in a very simplistic way and make sure that whatever you are doing is end of the day giving the confidence to the customs that the cross-border movement which is being initiated by you is not posing any threat and you are able to address it. And whatever you are doing, you are able to look at from the larger economical conditions across the world. Once you have been recognized as a AUO, you automatically get recognized in the customs systems and customs information across the world. But that can happen only when between the customs to customs, there is an agreement which is called as the mutual recognition agreement, which happens to the government to government document and agreement which is signed by the government to say that we recognize across partners in other places. And the same kind of facilitation what I am giving in my country to my business people, I will allow this and extend this to exporters from other country when they are supplying material here. So this MRA becomes a very crucial one. And to do this MRA, more and more authorized economic operators has to be in place so that it becomes sensible for the government to sign the contract and enable the movement of cargo at a faster pace and at a lesser cost. And it makes the passage also smooth in without intervention at any customs borders unnecessarily, where you have not filled information or you are not adhere to certain conditions locally. And WTO also has mandated that the facilitation has to be done in a area where there is a AUO, and they are also deeply involved in developing this AUO into a larger program across the world. And they have mandated that the recognition should definitely give not only cost benefit, but also growing the business opportunities so that when I commit to the overseas customer, I can say that in 3 days I can ship it out. It is possible for the other side of the border also to be prepared and to receive the goods and do whatever he has to do with that and keep up his commitment and see that there is a faster turnover of the businesses happening. Normally, when we say MSME, the major areas is that they are only concerned in producing the goods and they are capable of only looking at how to do that particular activity which they are involved in, manufacturing or trading. But once you break that components and you look at it internally, and also if you are able to invest in small way, uh, not just in financial terms, but in effort and in making your knowledge level and awareness level different, and also make that bring in knowledge for you to do it, and you can discuss with other people. Definitely your business will grow, and it will make your business run into a different level. And this is somewhat the analysis of an MSME has been made, that owner entrepreneur is the one who does everything, and he is the one. But if you take little help, little assistance from other people, definitely it can make things different for you, and it also make your business grow, and make the country strong, and make this availability of goods which is not produced or which is not manufactured in a one place to be made available in other place. So there is a large amount of trading community from the MSME sector across the world, and as I said earlier, there is 90% of any nation's the community who is either trading or manufacturing or coming from the MSME sector, and the rest of the 10% is large and other organizations. So the whole idea of WTO and the national economies today is to see how this 90% can upgrade themselves and improve upon their conditions and improve upon their abilities, and participate in the world trading activity in a much more bigger way. And everybody is talking about it today. And in EU, it is called as think small first policy. And they bring only in any policy what they make, they bring the MSME into the forefront. And in many countries, we are seeing the added and the focused encouragement to MSME. And there are agencies, that is the United Nations agencies, who are working today to make sure that the smaller agencies are also coming into the business and giving special focus to train them, to encourage them, and also to imbibe them with knowledge and capability, and also to bring in the skills and knowledge which is required to do the international trade in a much more informed way. And this definitely is seen today in the exponential growth of e-commerce, where the large amount of the participants and the traders are coming from the micro and small businesses. And this is now making everybody stand up to see and understand the or to appreciate the potential in the small business, and to make them sure what is happening. And there are a lot of information being made available by United Nations through their agencies, and WTO also through their own agencies, which is called the International Trade Council. International Trade Center. There also there is a lot of information being made available, where you can pick up a country and go to a particular product which you would like to import or export. It provides all the information which you require with respect to that particular country, and with respect to the particular HSN or the product which you would like to import or export. And there is what is called as a Global Trade Help Desk, helpmetrade.org. This is again promoted by the UN, where a lot of information is being fed on procedural aspects, and also the information on what one has to do or what is to be done to make sure the cross-border movement happens. So we see there is a lot of agencies involved, not just the WTO and WCO. There is United Nations agency with the International Trade Center. There is OECD. Our own International Trade Council is putting up a lot of information and making a lot of efforts to help the MSME access information and create a knowledge base and knowledge expertise in themselves. There is International Chamber of Commerce, and there are also national associations locally who are also trying to make sure that the required assistance, required help, knowledge is also made available to the deserving and aspiring businesses. So, in conclusion, what I would like to say is the MSME is to, if it has to harness the growth, and it has to look at from leveraging the business of international trade. They have to also look at from how to use the AUO, which will give them a definitively a different kind of a tool, or I would say it enables you to become somebody different from what you are or what you were, to a different level, which will put you on par with other large organizations in terms of facilitation, in terms of intervention, which happens in the border, in terms of inspections, in terms of speed of movement of the cargo. And it also gives you a image in the international community that you are one who is trusted by the customs in the local level. So please explore this opportunity which is available, and make sure you become successful and you grow. And thank you. And this ends my session.
All right. Thank you for that informative presentation, Jivan. We only have a few minutes left, but we're still open for a few questions. So if you have any question, just please feel free to type in your question here in the Q&A box or chat box. And while we are waiting for those questions, I would like to make some few announcements. So this webinar is recorded. So if you would like to replay, just please visit our YouTube channel, International Trade Council. It will be posted there in the next few days. And everyone will be receiving a certificate of participation for attending today's educational session. And if you're not yet a member of International Trade Council, please feel free to reach out to me and we can offer you pre-membership. And I only see one question here from Ken. What is the link for further information on AEO? Do you have any other links, Jivan, that you can share about AEO?
AEO is specific to the country which you are in and doing your business from. But in general, if you would like to know about AEO, you can Google it, you will get various information. But specific to your country, if you can let me know where you are from, I can try to share the link in due course.
Okay. Perfect. Maybe you can email Jivan. The email address is here, jivan@indeluxe.com. So you can ask more information and get some resource information from him.
Yep.
Okay. Thank you. So I don't see any more question here. So I think I can conclude the webinar. Before we end this educational session for today, I would like to ask our speaker to give his final or parting words before we end the webinar. Go ahead, Jivan.
Okay. Thank you. And I only wish there is more MSMEs who get into this trading business across the borders and grow successful. Thank you.
Thank you. You're welcome. So thank you for all joining us today as we explore the essential efforts to ease trading across borders. We hope you gain valuable insights into the agencies driving trade enablers, how to develop effective systems within the organization, and the confidence to lead your business into the future. On behalf of International Trade Council, we extend our sincere thanks to our speaker and to each and every one of you for active participation. We look forward to seeing you in our future educational session. Have a great day, everyone.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Thank you, Jivan.